Consultancy firm is the biggest scam.
GM left the entire India market because they wanted to focus on profitability and not on
No,
numbers.
because GM is motors. You say that the sub-4 meter rule is I completely agree. Okay, yes, it is only because the Polo no longer fits under sub-4 meter and I'm not able to get a Polo, the latest generation one. So I'll call this rule VW fan here. Ford is not coming back to India. It's not. Gullible consumers buy your cars because of discounts, because of price, and later they suffer because eventually one of the brands will leave. So from that perspective, I'm saying either you be all in or you leave.
Tata Motors continue selling Next1 EV at 15 lakh. But they are changing batteries frequently, a lot of issues. I am pretty sure they are not making any profit out of it.
So why are you the first mover? Always.
I was not first mover. I was the first
Loser,
on
sorry.
EV.
I can tell you some great things about VinFast.
Please.
Globally, I've heard the product. I've not experienced them, so I'm not saying from my experience. I'm pulling from other people's experience. Today I have a very critical तो आपको ICU में पहुंचा देता है. I have a very critic with me, Mr. Gagan Choudhary, who hates cars, car brands, car manufacturers and wants to rant out on everybody. So today I want to ask him one question which all of you want to know. What? Which is the car brand? Drum rolls. That is going to leave India next. Straight cut to the chase.
But there is a caveat. Which is the car brand I want?
No, I don't care about your opinion.
Acha.
You are under embargo. No opinions, only facts.
Today.
Arey, don't say that. No. Today's.
Okay. The video will come later.
Editors, what are you doing? Roll it out fast.
So as of this date, I don't think any car manufacturer is in the state where they will leave. But
you're spoiling my podcast.
The podcast is over now.
Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it.
No, so I really think in current market scenario, in the financial status where all the manufacturers are right now, nobody is leaving as of now. Obviously, we never expected Chevrolet to leave when they left.
That's the problem. You're not reading my question. I didn't say who's leaving India today or tomorrow.
Which will leave first?
Who is going to leave next?
Okay.
Right. We have an amazing list, which I shall tell now.
Three brands.
Not three. Sorry, there's more than three. There's Ford. There's General Motors. Chevrolet. Opel. Mitsubishi. Hindustan Motors. Premier Automobiles. Sipani Motors. San Motors.
For a brief.
Sandstorm करके कुछ तो था. I'm not understanding how can Indian brands leave India and go. Where did Hindustan Motors and Premier go?
Where do you go? जब बिल्ली जाती है तो नहीं आती है तो आती कहाँ से? जाती तो जाती कहाँ है?
And one second, my list is not over.
Oh,
That son.
Fiat.
That son of a Fiat. Yes, Fiat. So we have a lot of brands who have come.
Fiat never left officially, na? They never announced it.
Like they being there also never felt they were there. So it doesn't matter.
True that.
Okay, now so many car brands have left India, right? Why did they leave India? Obviously, Fiat had miserable sales. Datsun was the most stupid idea in the history of any automobile ideas. Sandstorm was way before time. Sandstorm, you know what they made, right? The Sand Motors, they actually made a convertible car for rupees 5 lakhs using a Renault engine, right? Which was way ahead of its time.
I born after that, so
Yeah, so this is out of syllabus for you. Then why did Opel leave? Because it got converted into Chevrolet. Why did Chevrolet or GM leave? Because of global consolidation. Why did Ford leave? Because they were not able to pay your fees for some of the advertorials you had done.
Yeah, they took my money.
Ford, if you're looking at this right now, sharam karo, abhi to de do bichare.
They ran with my money.
They ran with my money. Unbelievable.
One of the most beautiful stories I can ever do.
Okay, I'll quickly.
I did that.
In 30 seconds, I'll tell you what exactly happened. He did a story on the first voter of India, where the endeavor was the product placement, and because of some various issues out of his control, the video did not go on 26th of January, which is Republic Day, and Ford had never told him that it should go on that date, but eventually Ford said that you didn't put it on that day and they did not pay him money. That is the short of things. And in my experience of working with a lot of brands, I've never seen a brand ever do such a thing. Right? They say कि अच्छा नहीं हो रहा तो बाद में दे देना, ये नहीं कर पाए तो कुछ और कर दो. If they have rolled out a RO or given commitment, nobody goes back.
Until they say, why do you say that you know Ford ran with my money or something? I'll continue saying that because that is what exactly happened.
Okay, now the real reason why Ford left India. Poor product planning, poor products, no thought, no vision,
no,
no
not
sales.
poor product. I tell you, there's
Poor-
this
Sir,
journey.
Come on. See, Figo was a good product. No doubt about it. But was not the product for our market. Our market wanted a product which had all the bells and whistles, which the Figo did not.
No, I tell you where the journey started. So Ford, there is this concept in aviation that you fall behind the plane. You know, plane is controlling you, not you are controlling the plane. वैसा वाला. So Ford के साथ में what happened was they were falling behind the market. So the market was controlling everything, and they were like adjusting things later. So initially they came with great cars, but then people realized, oh, great car, but now it's costing too much to repair it.
But that was with the Escort, with the Icon.
I'm talking, yes,
with the
Escort
Mondeo.
Icon. Yes, you're right.
But with the Figo, they addressed all these issues.
They addressed, but then came a different problem. वो petrol engine, their fuel efficiency and child part was still an issue. And correcting that part, that now we have improved all those high maintenance issues, that was also not addressed properly. Marketing was poor. And then the final
marketing is obviously poor when they are coming to you to promote their product. Then marketing is
they
poor.
they came almost the last minute. It was again falling behind the trend.
Tell me something. This podcast, I'm so full of energy. It is interesting. Maybe it's my podcast, so I can see it multiple times. If this does not work, whose fault is it? Is it my fault? Or is it the audience's fault?
The podcast?
If this does not work, if this does not get views, whose fault is it?
It's your fault.
It's my fault,
Yes.
right? Can you explain this to Ford? That if your cars are not selling,
No.
it is your fault. Because they have gone ahead and blamed consumers, saying that consumers don't value good products. They did not buy our products. So, okay, Tata, bye-bye.
I think they also overestimated a lot of things. Probably they went with the wrong agency, all these consultancy firms.
Consultancy firm is the biggest scam.
Yes, so they probably
Like Census is a scam. I pick up this much audience because I'm doing it, right? I ask people on my channel which video I should make next. No views. Because the sample size is so small, boss.
yes. So they went with some consultancy firm or multiple consultancy firm, and they realized the market is going to boom and whatever. And they came with a plant which is not required even today. 2024, it is not required. They came with a brand new Sanand plant. Great plant.
No, that plant, basically Tata Motors commissioned them to make.
No, Tata. Secretly, you're saying. So the plant was not required. A lot of money went there. फिर वो हाथी को पालना भी पड़ता है, so they were following the hathi and eventually.
See, I'll tell you one thing. First and foremost, Ford is not coming back to India. It's not. नहीं आ रहा. There's no way. But why would they leave and come back after 2 years?
I think it was.
I never went back to my ex-girlfriend after 4 years.
I think it was January 24 when we were doing the Everest here in Dubai, and I recorded a reel saying that it's not coming.
Yeah, earlier this year. Last year. We are in 25.
Yes.
So the point is, basically, Ford is not coming back to India, and I feel there's a common thread to everyone leaving
Even
India.
if they come, they'll come with the electric and say, it makes no sense.
But the point is that there's a common thread with everyone who's leaving India, like all the car brands. Why Mitsubishi left? Lack of sales. Why Hindustan
Mitsubishi
Motors?
was in India?
Sorry.
They were ever in India? Oh, yes, red Pajero. Red and white Pajero. Yes.
No, actually what happens is, at the end of the day, धंधा नहीं चलेगा तो निकलेंगे ना.
निकलेंगे.
Plain and simple. And अभी काफी ब्रांड का धंधा नहीं चल रहा. Loosely translated, some of the brands are not able to sell cars. Right? If I just give you a rough picture of recent sales, which is last month, November, Honda sold 5,000 units. 5,000 units. That's it.
They should also leave, I believe.
You think they will leave?
They should leave because they will not serious
leave.
about India.
They will not leave because the parts business profit goes to them.
So they are a profitable company as of now. When we are speaking, they are a profitable company because the two-wheeler is a big thing. The
Don't say
two-wheeler
two-wheeler.
parts.
Activa is the big thing. Just say that.
Yes, the two-wheeler part industry, the aftermarket and after sales are good business for them. But I don't think they are able to convince the Japanese people from here. Probably they are not able to talk in Japanese or whatever the reason is. So they are not able. The management here is not able to. Probably they are not trying, or they are not able to steer the overall strategy of whatever they are.
Why are you behind Honda?
No, I'm not behind.
Because I'll tell you something. How can you say Honda is going to leave India? They are selling.
I want them to leave India.
But why do you want them to leave India?
Either do something or leave.
To put into perspective, Honda has sold almost 10 times what Citroen has sold.
Citroen has a very different problem.
Citroen has sold around, I think, 505 units last month.
Oh, 50. That's a good number.
That's a good number, right?
Now, I was expecting it to be 200, 300
No,
something.
so 509 and all this.
They also came with Basalt 2-3 months back, na? So some
Yeah, so sales have come from Basalt. You know how many units Basalt sold?
100,
Guess,
200,
guess. Huh?
200, 100, 200.
47.
Really?
Basalt has sold 47.
Such a brilliant car otherwise.
Where is it brilliant? Please tell me, where is it brilliant?
No.
Other than the keyboard warriors, nobody finds it brilliant. Okay?
No.
How
Actually,
can a car which has just been launched a few months back sell 47 units? If I make a car, I will still sell 48 units, I think. People will buy it out of sympathy. but how can they sell 47 units, yaar?
that's actually horrible. And see, I tell you, with Citroën or the entire Stellantis group and their re-entry or
When you say Stellantis, it brings me to Jeep. Before that, let me talk about C3 and C3 Aircross. Both have sold around 200 units each. And each C3 has sold the remaining. So 200 मतलब 50-60 बिक गई है वो. And that's how they arrive at 509 units.
EC3 also goes in fleet also, a lot of the cars. So
Very less people are buying in fleet because 60 people. At the end of the day, a lot of Maruti cars are selling in fleet, like Ertiga and Desires. They're selling in 10,000, 20,000, whatnot.
the
Crazy
entire
numbers.
Eco, Ertiga
Everything.
surviving because of that.
And imagine kidnapping is still flourishing without the Omni. Eco had to fill big shoes. Now, you're talking about
Big
Stellantis.
responsibility it is.
Yes, I know. With great power comes great responsibility. Rear wheel drive for the win.
It comes with traction control or not?
No. You sit on the engine. Your bottoms control the power going to the engine. But tell me something. Jeep sold 361 units last month, around that. पूरा Stellantis group मिलके 1000 यूनिट नहीं बेच रहा. कर क्या रहे हो तुम?
They didn't come with great numbers anyway. They wanted to sell, I think, 1 lakh or 50,000 car initial for few years, or that was their expected number or something. So they never wanted to sell that much, but they are not able to sell whatever they expected.
But you tell me, what is the feasibility? With
They are
these
selling.
kind of
They are manufacturing engine and transmission.
You manufacture.
They are profitable.
You manufacture. You better be profitable. Why are you making a mockery of the dealers?
That's a
Let
different
them
thing.
go and do some other work.
Now you are coming to the point. They have very poor product planning. So
One second. Don't accuse them of poor product planning.
They don't
have product planning.
They don't have product planning. So they have very poor product planning. They have no idea what Indians. See, Ford was lacking behind, and they made the last wrong move by removing all those infotainment system and whatever the features they were offering. Same thing Citroën started with. They came with very poor things like windows rolling, mirrors.
No, but they've addressed all this. They don't understand first impression is the last impression.
Exactly.
That's why in every video of mine, I start by shouting. And then in between, I be like, I have no energy. But people are like, energetic guy. Yay!
A lot of people comment, why is he always shouting?
It is to create the mahal. So the thing is, with all these brands you mentioned, less sales. Like Citroen is at the bottom of the pile. Then obviously we have Jeep. Okay, Jeep is dead.
Almost.
What are they doing with Meridian? By removing 2 seats, how do you expect sales to increase? There's no common sense.
But they are coming with a new car, by the way.
Is it?
If you are fast enough to put this podcast out on time, probably this thing is valid. Otherwise, they might by that time already come with a new car.
Or by the time the podcast comes, few car brands must have already left. We have to cut all this part out.
Yeah.
Have you heard of this brand called Leap Motors?
I don't think they can bring it. They don't have that much of bandwidth.
Talking about it.
They're talking about they were saying Q4 of 2024. So technically, for calendar year,
One
it's
second.
done.
Latest news is from. These people who are shooting our podcast have put this live. Stellantis CEO saw it. He's resigned.
It's still in 3 years.
He's resigned right now after seeing the podcast. After seeing there's no scope in India. Which brings me to another company which is in really bad waters globally. Your favorite company.
Nissan.
Exactly. Let me put the numbers out there.
Before Honda, I want Nissan to leave. Pack your bags and leave. Let
Shift
Renault
the
do
way you
everything.
move.
Yes, let Renault do everything. Okay, they made a great move.
One second. Why are you biased towards Renault? Saying that let Renault do everything. Renault is not doing blockbuster, by the way.
No, at least one of them should do something. Why are you pulling down each other? What a problem.
Magnite is the sole car they have on sale. X-Trail sold 0 units. So I don't
Magnite is the only car that they can sell.
They are selling Magnite 2342
They
units.
can't sell anything else.
2342 units they sold last month. 0 units of X-Trail. Obviously.
No, I saw X-Trail in Chennai. I was like, what the
They have their plant there, na? They must be running it around there.
Yes,
Now you tell me, Renault's report card is around 2,800 units with 3 cars, which are mass market. तो Renault ने क्या उखाड़ लिया?
You're right. Technically, Renault ने भी कुछ खास नहीं उखाड़ा है. But if one of them who is not planning the product properly, that is Nissan. And they are considering the fact that they are both building the products together. It's the Nissan that should improve more, or probably they should jointly improve more.
I agree.
Renault will come with the Duster, na? So that's also there.
Oh wow, what a product! After so long, Nissan's problem is not India anymore. They have a global problem now. You know, na? They have only 14 months of money left. They have fired 9,000 people, cut production by 20%. CEO has taken a 50% reduction of his 100 crore salary. Now he's only taking 50 crore. Poor him. But the point is that they are having problems globally. They will not even care what's happening in India. Similar with Volkswagen. Volkswagen is having big problems globally. They don't care what's happening in India. Because when I got an opportunity to interact with the board of Volkswagen, they said India is not even in our top 10 list. First is China, second is electrification.
Same goes with Nissan and Renault. They don't even count India as a market.
Exactly. So then why are you present here? Just leave. With respect, just leave.
Some investment, some things are there. So
you continue production. Continue production, make and export. Because I'm coming from this perspective, then when you're not serious about the market, gullible consumers buy your cars because of discounts, because of price, and later they suffer. Because eventually one of the brands will leave. Then service support, resale, then it bites them back. And then when there are serious brands which want to do something of meaning in India, they don't get the respect they deserve. Because consumers have this mindset now कि अरे यार foreign brand है कभी भी छोड़ के चला जाएगा. That trust does not come. After Ford, there are newer brands which have come. People have not trusted them readily, saying that यार Ford ना निकल जाए या GM ना निकल जाए. So from that perspective, I'm saying either you be all in or you leave. You be all out. There is no middle ground.
I think with Magnite, Nissan made a right move. And
by selling 2,342 units.
No, at least they were not selling anything. So now they are selling something. So they made a right move, but they should have continued that thing. Then they stopped and they came with X-Trail. Nobody wanted that car.
X-Trail is just a stopgap because I've read.
It's a stop, not gap. It's just a stop, full stop.
I have read extremely credible reports on the internet. A Creta rival is coming for 10 lakhs called Ju. And that car will also kill Fortuner.
You should not be that high octane always.
It will also kill Fortuner, by the way. Fortuner is, I'll tell you what, Fortuner is the undertaker of the industry.
It has been killed several times.
But again keeps getting reborn. Okay, tell me how many car brands are present in India?
20 plus.
On the way to this podcast, we are shooting this in Dubai right now. We counted 25. 25 car brands are present in India.
More than that, actually.
And we don't have many of the brands already. We don't have Porsche. We don't have DS. We don't have Seat. We don't have the whole Chevrolet, like the whole GM motor, General Motors, government motors. की कोई एक गाड़ी नहीं है. We don't have Chinese brands other than MG. MG's report card is also not great. 6,000 units. 3,000 is just.
They'll survive, but
they are a UK brand. Owned by Indians now.
UK brand. UK owned Chinese brand owned by Indians.
I think
based half in Singapore, half here, whatever.
MG's products are decent. The problem is identity crisis. They don't know from where they are.
No, but MG will survive.
MG will now be JSW.
In fact, they came with a fantastic car last year, a Windsor. So yeah, they are on right track at least. They should have come with a better battery pack, but okay.
But again, it's electric. Electric demand is very meek. And once Mahindra comes with don't be 6C, something smaller.
Dance on those lines.
That car will kill everything. Mahindra will sell it for like good pricing. Like nobody can beat Mahindra and Tata in terms of pricing. Nobody can beat it. If they want to sell it, they can sell it any price, right? And later, obviously, they'll increase the price. In introductory price, they will always knock it out of the park.
I think when the video went live of X, EV9e and B6e.
It's B6, okay?
B6.
Don't
okay. Sorry, Indigo. Sorry. So, when the videos went live, we were all saying that Tata might think about their strategy and everything. But I think Hyundai also got scared because they were planning Creta EV by that time. They were like, "Ye kya hai?" Mahindra came out of syllabus. We were not even expecting them to do this thing.
No, I'll tell you one thing. I know people at Hyundai. बोलते मारुति से डर नहीं लगता हमें. डर लगता है तो महिंद्रा से लगता है because Mahindra can do anything. Thar Rocks is such a phenomenal product.
They have their bread and butter in Thar Rocks,
their marketing is solid. Their marketing, I know. So what they did basically, they actually went ahead and gave one top influencer from Jaipur a Thar Rocks for free just to promote it.
मैं सोचा कुछ सीरियस आ रहा है.
Serious, yeah. अच्छा बताना नहीं था. Okay, we'll cut this. I am very surprised that this podcast has reached almost 10 minutes and he has not uttered the word
VW. Arre,
How have you
हाँ.
not gone behind them?
VW, Honda and Nissan. I want them to leave.
And Citroen? In Jeep?
Citroen is still okay. Like I want them to, get the market right and fire all those
What
consultancy
I'm
firms that they are
understanding
hiring.
is you're not logical, you're not sensible, and you don't think through your head. That's why.
No,
you
but
have,
VW ka case is a very different thing.
But once
VW
why-
in 2018 said that Skoda will be the lead brand. Okay. And ever since that announcement has happened, Skoda and VW, they are constantly trying कि कुछ बेच देते हैं, आप भी बना लो, हम भी बना लें, we'll do this. Skoda will first come with Kailak and say that VW will not come with it. We want them to come. Then VW will somehow probably come and say, we will also make a sub-4-meter car or whatever SUV there. They are not bringing the cars which people want, Polo and all those sort of things. They have constantly made wrong decisions. Then they have Dieselgate उनके सिर पे. Then they have various issues globally. They are not able to, figure out कि electric cars बनानी कैसे है.
when VW is selling more than Skoda, how dare you say that VW should leave?
That is
Because last month, VW has sold around 3,333 units. Meanwhile, Skoda has sold around 2,866 units.
that is a great number actually.
Yeah, so almost 150 units more it's selling. Do you know which is the market leader in the C segment today?
It's Varna.
No, it's not.
So,
Verna sold 1,200 units. Slavia sold 1,100 units. And the king of this segment for the longest time has fallen to 700 units, the city. But
that is also very
but
sad actually.
Hello Goosebumps has sold
1,300
1,500 units.
1,500. Oh,
So
nice.
now you are telling me that the brand
The
is leading
VW,
one of
VW guy here is not naming the car virtues. He's saying hello goosebumps. You see that marketing is happening on point.
No, I'm just telling you, you are saying that the brand which is a leader in one of the segments should quit India. Makes
No, I'm not
sense.
saying. Just merge the brand. Let Skoda do all the things. Let
The
decide
Skoda is
your
already doing
dealer
all the
strategy
things.
and
All the
everything.
billing is done by Skoda.
I know. They are only earning profit. I think if you count the profits of Skoda, Skoda is earning more. VW is earning less because Skoda is anyway leading everything. But why spend on marketing? Why spend on everything twice? Just do one thing.
That makes sense. If you tell me this and if you assure me this, let's assume in a hypothetical situation, I know that's not going to happen because I know the upcoming product lineup of VW and it's exciting for me because I'm going to buy one of those cars. And it's a GTI, by the way. Last time I missed out on the Polo GTI. This time I will not.
So why
I'm not saying
are
Polo
you
GTI 's wrong.
talking about real VW cars here? Let's focus on the VW 2.0 car.
Let's talk about the 2.0 strategy. Okay. Where was I? I got so confused in this whole hype.
Exactly. VW is in the same state. That's why the 2.0 thing.
No. Yes, I got it. I'm saying let's take this hypothetical situation that VW says, okay, now Mr. Gagan Choudhary has recommended us that if we leave our India and hand over everything to Skoda to handle, Skoda, Slavia and the Kushaq will take our market share and we will end up selling double.
Maybe
Because
not
both
double
of them are
initially.
same-
Initially not double, but their profitability will go up. And that is the important case.
No.
GM left the entire India market because they wanted to focus on profitability and not on
No,
numbers.
because GM is Motors.
I am not part of this conversation.
No, but I'm being very serious about this. The reason VW has so many brands in its portfolio, while GM has so many brands, Chevrolet, GMC, Cadillac, three of them have similar cars with different names. Same powertrain, same lot of things like chassis, whatever. All of them sell. They are doing it on a global level. If you see a Volkswagen, if you see a Skoda, if you see a Seat, all these three brands are having similar cars at the similar price range, similar powertrain, similar underpinning. All three are selling.
No,
So
I tell
that
you, there's a
strategy they have got
difference.
it in
There's a
India. And Toyota is doing it with Maruti. That is so very upfront. You know it. It is badge engineered.
All these examples are very different. I tell you why. The Seat thing works. The Skoda VW things works because in different market, different brand have different values. Then the US thing, that Cadillac thing that you're telling, वहाँ पे the market size is such, the maturity is such that all the brands can coexist and there are preferences and people will buy that. Talking about Maruti and Toyota ka rebadging thing, Maruti Toyota rebadge part is actually for a very different reason. It is because Toyota has more profitability but less number of sales. So they also want to increase sales. They also meet norms. They also want
They want to offset the pollution which the Fortuner causes
Exactly.
by selling rebadged
So, lot of
Marutis.
other things are happening in Toyota and Suzuki, and now also Toyota is somehow having upper hand on Suzuki, and they are deciding what the entire group will do. Again, they are JV, but people don't count them as a JV, so that's also a factor. But here, the case with VW Skoda in India is a very different thing. I don't see any point for both the cars to continue. Why people are confused between a Skoda Kushaq and VW. What is the SUV name?
Taycan.
Taycan. So they are confused. I have no idea why they are confused. They are exactly the same car. Why are you confused? The Kushaq looks better. So buy that.
So
you don't get to say anything on that.
I'll disagree. So no, so like I definitely like the Kushaq more than the Taycan in terms of the visual appeal. But in terms of the visual appeal of the sedans, I'm more of a Virtus.
So maybe I have a better idea.
Slavia guy.
Skoda can keep the design of Virtus.
See, India is such a huge opportunity today for brands. Third biggest market. Third, we are on the podium after obviously China and the US. So there's huge growth opportunity, cheap labor, great for manufacturing, great for exports. Why would a car brand leave India?
Because
why
they're not
would-
making profits. They will leave.
Which means there's a problem at their end.
Ford couldn't make profit for almost 2 decades. They had to eventually leave.
Because their marketing sucked. Some of the products sucked.
Their planning sucks.
The
Their
initial
strategy
products,
sucked.
the initial products are fantastic, expensive to maintain.
Their top management sucked.
And you keep always talking about 2.0, 2.0, 2.0 of the VW group and saying the realness of original VWs is not there. But this is exactly what Ford has done. The original Fords, the original Figo, the Fiesta, the Icon, the Escort, all these cars had that Ford feel. When they went to the new second generation of the Figo, lightweight, it did not have the Fordness to it.
I think, but real buyer was not really much concerned about it. They were more concerned about the Ford is not offering that many features which Hyundai is offering. The fact that Ford didn't have any car between EcoSport and Endeavour, that was also a big problem. All those sort of things are the
But that is their problem now. Who was stopping them from getting cars like Territory or the Escape? Or there's so many. Their product portfolios.
Kuga, for example. But I think the cost thing
Fuga
also
तो they
didn't
could
make
not
sense.
get ना क्योंकि management फूका करके बैठा था फूक के बैठा था
I think that the problem with almost all the companies that has that has shut their plants in India or left the market was actually the people sitting there and not making right decisions. It was not really bad product or something. It's
See,
not making right decisions.
Ford is the biggest case study. General Motors I'll not consider because General Motors I feel somehow is an internal plot if you reverse the names to take over and push them out.
MG.
Every person who was working in GM
It was
ended
this-
up in MG. The plant was the same. Everything was the same. They did not even change the logo. They just flipped it.
Not flipped it, but put it.
I know.
It's fair. It's not the flip thing. Sorry.
No, flipping is cool these days now with the phones.
But I think that would have been the smoothest transition. बंदा कोई उठा होगा कल तक GM लिखा होगा now MG हो गया.
So obviously General Motors will not come under threat there. They had two plants. One now obviously has been
Talegaon
taken
and
by Hyundai. Doesn't the government put pressure or do anything to prevent people from leaving the country? Is it not a bad
Government must be
reputation for
doing,
them?
but the thing is, it's the government and their regulation and their policies which has actually created the situations to start with where the all these companies are leaving, because they now are coming in a market which looks big, which is obviously big and looks like profitable and everything, but when they enter they realize, oh, there are a lot of taxation, there are a lot of regulations which will not let their cars sold outside and all those sort of things.
I disagree with you on this. I'll tell you why. You say the sub 4
We
meter.
have discussed this, but you plot the question. Yeah.
You say that the sub 4 meter rule is. I completely agree. Okay, yes, it is. Only because the Polo no longer fits under sub 4 meter and I'm not able to get a Polo, the latest generation one. So I'll call this rule VW fan here. So the point is, the rules are the same for every player.
Yes.
Right? So you cannot say that, he has an advantage. The rule is favoring him. The rules are the same for everybody. Now you play according to the rule book. If today some brands are successful with the same rule, what is stopping you? I will tell you why General Motors left India, and I'm happy they left. They got a scrap like Sail, Yuva, Enjoy. They
They're planning a few more, by the way.
They took all the from SAIC, put it here, which helped them leave so that SAIC could take over and come with MG. You get like hammered in the market in terms of sales, and then you say, I'm not profitable. It's your fault.
No. So the first thing where you say that, when other players are doing it, why not they are able to do, that is fine. I'm not saying that part. But then there are some brands who might not have India as their primary market, but want to produce here, want to exist in the market and sell things, but they also want to export big. And all these manufacturers who are exporting out of India, they are actually doing a big thing to India, India's
A
GDP.
lot of these brands are making two versions of the same car. Like, remember, I think it was the EcoSport, which was not 4 meters for global slightly longer, little bit here or there was happening, right? So where there's a will, there's a way. And by the way, I just remembered another car brand which left India, and I did not mention Daewoo.
Daewoo,
Yeah,
yes, Matisse and all.
Matisse, CLO, next year.
Who owns Daewoo now?
Daewoo is owned by this thing now. The commercial vehicle division is owned by Tata Motors.
Huh.
And the passenger vehicle is owned by General Motors. So the Cruise and all those cars which came. So Daewoo Matisse became Chevrolet Spark, which became Chevrolet Beat. Right? So they took over.
But the thing
so
is...
it was called as GMDAT, General Motors Daewoo Auto Technologies, which was based out of Korea.
Say it again,
GMDAT.
GMDAT.
General Motors Daewoo Auto Technologies.
एक गाली थी हमारे यहाँ पे ऐसी, so let's not go there. Anyway, so what we were discussing?
I was saying, doesn't it hamper the government?
Yes,
And you said the regulations are hampering people, right?
No, it's not just the sub 4 meter rule. It's the way the regulations are done. For example, BS4 के बाद में सीधा BS6 आना. Lot of manufacturers were not expecting it. I remember clearly GM was doing something called GEM. GME, GEM, something, growing emerging market, yeah, general emerging market, or whatever it was. They were planning a platform, they were planning some engine, they were planning diesel engine, 3-cylinder, 4-cylinder diesel engine, and they were planning it all for all these emerging market, and India was also one of those market. They were all set with that, budgets were allocated, everything was right, and then the BS6 thing came. It took them by, surprise ki, if this happens, if they go with BS6, and obviously government went with the BS6, implementation happened, their entire strategy changed. So
because they did not use a cheat device, no, that is their problem.
that your favorite brand did.
No, a lot of brands have done it. Stellantis did it, Mercedes did it, VW did it. So
only brand that actually faced it and faced it really hard is VW.
No, because their group is so big now. So when we say VW, it's not just Volkswagen, right? Its issue was with Audi cars. The A6 was one of them. So it's like basically with the 2-liter TDI engine, majority happened with the 2-liter TDI, right? That's why we don't have that TDI anymore, in India at least.
They should have continued. They should have figured out some way out of it.
Today, the only reason for the decline in sales of the whole VW group, and when I say VW group, I mean Skoda, Volkswagen, and Audi, and even Porsche to a certain extent, even though Porsche will say we are selling more cars now. The point is, the lack of diesel is really hampering them.
They would have made more profits and they would have survived longer. Remember, I told you probably that while doing research for Lucid, I read a comment on one of the forum where a guy commented that I heard that Lucid is selling car which is almost 2x the price, but selling at like 50% discount. Like it costs 2x. And the guy went on saying that I will not buy any such car, because I know the company is not making profit and then they will exit. Obviously, it was not the case. Lucid was making profit and everything. But this is a mature thinking that if a brand is selling car at lower cost and not making profit.
You don't have to think, because competition, Commission of India will make sure, because
it's not.
In India, it's illegal to sell it at a loss. No, there's something with the discount, unfair market, something is around that. But then the government also knows if police not there, everything legal.
Like, for example, Tata Motors continue selling Nexon at a price tag of, let's say, average price of 15 lakh, Nexon EV. But they are changing batteries frequently, a lot of issues. I am pretty sure they are not making any profit out of it.
Is that the reason you bought a Punch EV, so you can keep getting new batteries every time and again?
I actually felt cheated. I got Punch EV for 13.5 lakh, the lower variant of the larger battery pack. And now the top end variant comes at 13.5 lakh. So, because they are given discount of 1.5 lakh. So, I felt cheated.
So, why are you the first mover?
I was not first mover. I was the first
loser.
Born EV. Born EV, which was not really born EV, but then, yeah.
Car brand leaving India is a negative reputation for our country.
In terms of foreign investor coming in, yes.
Yes. Nowhere in the world I've seen that the government is so restrictive and bullying, saying that this car brand cannot enter, or this company cannot enter. Because what they did with Great Wall Motors, I think is a wrong thing. Because at least my experience, or even your experience here, when we are visiting Dubai, we're visiting certain countries, we're seeing Chinese cars are giving tough competition to local players. And competition is always a good thing, which puts everyone else on their toes and thereby resulting in better products for the consumer.
It also, it's not just government, it also has to do with the lobby that Indian manufacturers put.
Okay, let's not name Tata Motors or Mahindra. Okay, I don't want to name car brands.
Force Motors probably left with Force Motors. They can't do any lobby probably.
They are the lobby.
They can only do tracks.
Achha, so you're saying because of Tata Mahindra's lobbying, Great Wall Motors could not make it great in India?
No. It's not like that. It's the all these homegrown player, and not even just Tata and Mahindra. The other bigger players are also, they have this certain lobby of keeping the market somewhat tight to all these.
There's
Chinese
a name
players.
for that lobbying. I think it starts with S, ends with M, and has an I and A in between.
I'm not sure, but probably. But the thing is, I'm still happy with those Chinese players not entering.
Why? You are happy for VinFast coming because you're going to work with them. But
No,
you're not happy.
I'm not happy with that either. Because I have not heard great things about VinFast.
I can tell you some great things about VinFast.
Please.
Globally, I've heard the product. I have not experienced them, so I'm not saying from my experience. I'm pulling from other people's experience. People in Vietnam have gone, journalists, bloggers, influencers have said the product is and next they were in jail. Because
yes, I heard that.
वहाँ का अदानी
Okay.
ना owns VinFast.
So basically, why I'm saying that I don't want the new players to come in that fast is because Indian players, they are also in that transition and struggle phase where they have not realized whether or not we should continue with the EV phase, whether or not we should continue with the diesel, petrol or whatever. So they are still not mature enough to handle all those sort of things. Fortunately, Mahindra, not many people realized till last few launches that Mahindra has done better job in terms of changing their entire approach towards engines, ICE, petrol, diesel.
Why
and
don't
then
we
EVs
flip
as
this?
well.
Why don't we flip this? You are saying that from a Indian brand's perspective, you don't want that because it will hamper the Indian car brands like majorly Tata and Mahindra.
I just want them. I just want to give 2 or 3 more years.
What if you put the same restriction on Mahindra, saying that you can't sell in South Africa, you can't sell in Australia, because we don't want to hamper local players. Not that they have many local players to
They
speak
don't have
of.
any. Yeah.
But still,
No,
because
the brands have, the countries have done that. China did it for like good 20, 30 years. They never allow, apart from Tesla, no exception were made for their partnership. Only Tesla came without partnership in China. Every other player came with that 50-50 partnership.
because they had to learn something. You need to understand. You don't.
That is how actually the overall idea of nation first works.
But
sadly,
you don't learn from someone if you already know all that. China already knows a lot about
Sir,
electric.
Mahindra is very smart. Okay, they learned a lot from Ford.
No, but
and
I'm
then
saying
know where
China-
the Ford is now. They
No,
learned a
but
lot of things from SsangYong.
Another reason why Ford left was because
Mahindra.
Mahindra ditched them last moment.
So whenever we talk to people who was worked in Ford or some are still working, and they're always angry with Mahindra. They're like, "ये Mahindra ने सब कुछ खराब किया. We were in the right direction." Not that they were in the right direction. They obviously had no plan B. How can a company, such big, not having any other plan? But
There's no plan B. There's no plan B.
Exactly. There was no plan B. How can you be so stupid? And a company which is doing so good in so many markets, they cannot take such stupid decisions. Obviously, Mahindra was smart and they took whatever they could from the Ford, all the possible learnings, and then done.
No, so they took from Ford almost 20-25 years back also when Ford entered first time. Then after that they learned from Renault, then
Yes,
from
Renault.
SsangYong. Oh, SsangYong, another company which left India.
Yeah.
You were saying that in China, Tesla had the only exception. The reason why others did not have an exception because Chinese had a lot to learn from other car brands about internal combustion engine.
So
From
either
Tesla,
India market should have been same 20-30 years back, and they should have continued that way. Now, since it's an open market, we are all fine. But
how is it open? When Great Wall Motors can't come, they are not allowed. They set up everything in India. They are planning to launch, and the government says, "Does
it
some
was because of Chinese sentiment, nothing else. Probably.
No, I'll tell you why.
Other players are easily coming
my
in.
only
Citroen
reason,
came
see,
in, Kia came in.
I don't care. No, with regards to Chinese players, I'm saying that because I'm not a fan of Great Wall Motors, but I love the tank.
You love the So you also love Jet or T2, I believe.
Oh my, that is the defender, the real defender, the
Which
OG.
you can afford.
Yeah, that is also there. No, yaar, don't undermine me.
You
I can afford Range Rover.
Oh, which one?
$4,000 from
Alibaba.
Temu Alibaba with Charles, and it's a legit car, and people are enjoying it. Problem is, if I get into India, that $4,000 will immediately become $10,000 because of the duties. Can't enjoy it. So no, again, I was saying ki the reason why exception was given to Tesla because Chinese had nothing to learn from Tesla. They know everything about electric. They have been studying that electric since a long time. And I'm telling you, trust me, today let's hypothetically open India completely. Let's open. Anybody can enter. Let's assume Geely has entered. Jettor is there. Chery is there. In fact, Indian car brands have more Chinese component in Indian cars than Chinese cars have in India. Right?
Yes.
So that sentiment and all is bullshit. Point is, let's assume Geely is there, every possible car is there, Honchi is there. I'm telling you, it will not affect Mahindra's sales even one unit. Not even Tata's sale by 1 unit. Trust me on this.
Tata sale it will affect.
No, it will not. I'll tell you why. DKL, na? Bro, DKL. That feeling is different.
They realized it.
You know what DKL, right?
I know.
No, it's not Desh Ka Loha. It's Desire Ka Loha.
Now it has changed to that.
It has changed completely.
Desire NCAP rating has hurt so badly.
I am telling you, trust me on this. The Chinese cannot undercut Tata or Mahindra on pricing in India. They will not be able to do it.
They can.
They will not. Because see, no matter what you say, at least my experience driving Chinese cars is their QC level is slightly better.
You know which is the best selling electric cars? As we are talking in India?
In India right now, Windsor, no?
Windsor.
I know.
Chinese.
I know it is Chinese, but I'm just saying that Chinese, they have undercut big time, but I'm saying the quality which they offer is better. At least I found the quality, reliability, fit, finish and all to be slightly better.
Exactly. So and with that fit and finish, reliability and everything, they will come, even if they are not undercutting the price, if they come with that price, people will start buying. Now that is a great thing for consumer. If you think
so
from
it's
that
I'm
perspective.
thinking from consumer.
Yes,
consumer
it's a great thing
only.
from consumer perspective.
You tell me something. Let's assume tomorrow Chinese brands are there in India. I think that it will not affect sales of Mahindra and Tata. I feel it might affect Tata a bit, but it will not affect Mahindra that much. Now, slowly, consumers are like, I am getting better quality for a lower price from Chinese brands. They start buying Chinese products. What will it do to Tata and Mahindra?
They will start improving.
They will start improving. We are just safeguarding the interest by this lobby and not giving an opportunity for these brands to improve further. And if they improve, at the end of the day, the market is always driven by the consumer. Who benefits from a better product? Who benefits from more competition? So the government is thinking about companies and not thinking about consumers.
I tell you one more thing. What I also think while giving this statement is India still needs to develop a great supplier base. Our supplier base is not really of great quality. Mahindra, if tomorrow, let's say all these Chinese players enter and then Mahindra and Tata want better quality product, they will again run on, they'll again hunt for suppliers outside India. That is a problem. I want the supplier base to also, increase their quality levels. That process takes time. वहाँ पे दिक्कत है. Tata cannot overturn everything in the next product. Curve EV, people were hoping that they will come with something great, amazing, and then when it came, people realized, अरे it is Nexon till that last pillar. उसके बाद अलग है. Why it is that way? Because they cannot set up a supplier base and do all those sort of things from ground. That is a big problem, and that is where I think in next 2-3 years we will have a better supplier base for almost all the parts where we are not heavily dependent on China, like screens and all. Apart from that, we will have that good base, and then you can probably start.
And when you will have that base, the electric market will start booming, and then now they'll start relying on China for electric motors and batteries as well.
No, anyway, I think we can never beat the China cost and everything. No matter how much time we give to any brand possible, we will never be able to beat it. But I have good hopes from Maruti and Toyota with their EV. They will do some good calculation and will do sales. मुझे लग रहा है, let's see.
That actually brings me to another important thing is if car brands are leaving India, then obviously there will be some brands which will also enter India. Which car brand do you think is going to enter India next? And don't say VinFast. Because they're already here. They're already here. I know the answer, but I'm not going to say. I'm going to test your automobile knowledge.
Some other Chinese player will only enter.
No, the government won't let them. The lobbying is so heavy. Because Great Wall Motors should have been here.
Slowly opening.
I mean, imagine. Tesla will enter.
Tesla might enter next. They are now at that position.
So Leap Motors, Tesla. Why there's no Peugeot? Peugeot is another car brand which left India, by the way.
So exactly. Now it makes no sense. At least the
then why,
two brands that they have, they should first.
Why the fluff did they buy the ambassador for ATCR?
I don't know.
So Tesla, you think is going to enter next? Seat is not going to come to India. It makes no sense.
Seat, no.
So long story short, immediately you feel nobody's going to leave India.
Yes.
At least no car brand is going to leave. But if there's any car brand which is going to leave India, the first is going to be Nissan. The second is going to be Citroen. The third is going to be Jeep. And that's about it. Thank you so much for watching. What?
Sir, एक नाम भूल गए आप सर.
No. At least one brand which does not give us anemic engines, which gives us power, which gives us turbo, which gives us DSG.
So if VW wants, wants me to shut and stop saying that VW should leave, and they should bring at least one genuine VW car in next 1 year.
Okay, done. And if they bring a genuine VW car in the next 1 year,
I am not saying that I'll buy, but I'll try to sell it.
done. Because I know the Tiguan is coming.
Hey, not
No, this is not fair. I am out of this.
Tiguan. Not Tiguan.